Most tenants will pay their rent on time each month, especially if you've done your referencing properly. That said, late payments do happen, and it's something you're probably going to have to deal with at some point. So what do you do? First of all, rent is usually the biggest expense in someone's month, so tenants generally know when it's due. If it hasn't arrived on time, don't jump to conclusions, but be prepared to chase it. First, message them the next day. Keep it polite but clear. Hi, just a quick reminder, your rent was due yesterday and I haven't received it yet. Would you be able to send it over today? The response to that message, or lack of one, will determine what you do next. Sometimes that message alone will be enough to sort things out, as they know you're not going to let it slide. But if they do reply and say that they can't pay right now, you need to determine the reason why and come up with a plan. But your first priority should be to get as much of the rent as you can now. For example, if they've changed jobs and they won't be getting paid for another week, I'd ask, how much can you pay right now? If they said £500, I'd say something like, okay, well, if you can pay £500 now, I'll agree to defer the remaining £500 for a week. But you'll need to plan ahead so that the full rent is paid on time next month. It's all about being fair but firm. Show them you're willing to work with them, but you expect the rent to be prioritised over everything else. If they ignore your messages or aren't cooperating, you need to follow up with care. A text or call every few days is okay, but don't overdo it. If you call them over and over, it could be classed as harassment. As time goes on, your tone should get firmer, but don't make threats you can't or won't follow through on. Here's an example of what I might say after multiple attempts but no contact. I understand you might be having some financial difficulty, so are unable to pay the rent, but I need you to speak with me so we can find a solution. If you continue to ignore me, I'm going to have no choice but to begin steps to remove you from the property. Notice how I haven't set a deadline I'm not going to be able to follow through with. I haven't said you'll be evicted tomorrow, because even if I wanted to do that, I couldn't. The goal here is to put pressure on them to get them talking. If they go quiet and bury their head in sand, things usually get worse and fast. If you want to know more about this, as well as everything else you need to know to rent your property out the right way, check the link in my bio to get free access to my ultimate letting guide.